tzedakah is actually one of those mitzvot that becomes a part of our day-to-day routine. And what do I mean by that? It means that every single day we make sure that we are thinking of others, that we are taking the materialism that we own. We have money, we work hard for that money. We go to work, we go to school, we work hard for that money. We invest a lot of our effort and our energy and our time and our resources in earning that money. And what does Hashem say? Part of that money doesn't belong to you. There's a part of that money that actually belongs to others. And so you get to take a coin, little coin, 1/10 of our earnings go to tzedakah, meiser, that's a very basic amount that we give. I remember once one of my kids coming to me, mommy, how do I get 1/10 of $1? And I'm like, why 1/10 of $1? Well, she had gotten $1 from the tooth malach, the tooth fairy, and she wanted to know, how do I give meiser from that dollar? How do I divide that dollar and take off 10? So we try to train our kids, we try to train ourselves to look at the money that we have, the money that we've earned in a way that we are able to give to others, that Hashem gives us that money so we can give to others. And that means, Chassidus explains that all our energy, effort, and resources that we invest in earning that money, actually we're elevating and uplifting the material matter, material world with it. And so because it's so fundamental, being givers, and because it's so integral as to why we are here in this world, to elevate the material world, our work, our energy, our effort, our job, to lift it up and bring holiness and bring godliness into, yes, the very act of being a doctor or a lawyer or an artist or whatever we do, every moment we're investing, we're uplifting, and it's so a part of it. So we actually make sure that we have a tzedakah box everywhere. Now, I brought you into my kitchen first because look, a kitchen, usually you'd say, okay, what are we doing in this kitchen? We sit, we eat, we discuss, we debate, we have a lot of fun. Well, you know what else we do? Take a look right here. Well, Lubavitch Rebbe actually instituted that a tzedakah box should be a part of the home, built in, hammered in to the wall, so that it is the value of giving is a part of our space. Here, where a kitchen is so focused on us eating, us consuming, us enjoying, all partaking in different items of the material world, the Rebbe says, no, you want your home and your kitchen to be literally a part of a space that lifts up the people in that kitchen and shows that before we sit and we make challah for ourselves or, hearty meal, here, stop, pause, give tzedakah. So that's one way that we can literally make tzedakah a part of our home. Quite literally, it becomes attached to our walls. The next thing that we do is we make sure in every room there's a tzedakah box. And I have to show you. I'm not going to take you to the bedrooms because, believe it or not, I have 6 children still asleep in the bedrooms. But rest assured, every single one of the bedrooms down here, they have their own tzedakah box in. And many times it's a tzedakah box they've crafted, but we're not going to wake them because they won't be thrilled. So, but in your children's bedroom, in your own bedroom, is there a tzedakah box? Can you put a tzedakah box in to elevate and uplift, yes, even the bedroom, a space that's yours, great for napping, great for hanging out. Another thing I make sure to do, and we make sure to do, is have a tzedakah box kind of in every room, right? So the kids' bedroom for sure. Here we have one that I put centrally in this corner space because every time we're passing it from the front entrance or passing it to go outside or passing it to go to the living room, guess what? We stop and we see a tzedakah box. And I always make sure this point's handy because we want to make sure we're giving tzedakah. With our right hand, do a mitzvah with the right hand, and it goes. Tzedakah box number 2. Moving right along, we have now a living room. Now, what's so cool about a living room is it's a great space to hang out, to relax, to enjoy time with our family. And we make sure there's a tzedakah box in there because, again, this is a value that's so a part of it. The next thing I just want to point out how tzedakah is so part of who we are and what we do is you have here, what is this? Very well known, a tefillin bag. Tefillin bag of 4 men putting on tefillin. And yet, the tefillin bags, the children, the husband, what do they have inside? Mini tzedakah box. Because before they start their day in prayer, before they start their day connecting to Hashem about their needs, what do? We pause, we reflect, we think about other people's needs. And every day, there's a debate. Can I give tons of money? Of course, yes. Donate tons to Beis Chana to make sure that everyone can continue learning Torah together. How incredible. Such programs like this, right? Amazing. But yet there's the significance of not just learning, investing large amounts in tzedakah. No one will tell you not to, but to make sure every single day you are putting a coin in the tzedakah box. That's so integral and a part of who we are as Jews, as givers, as partners with Hashem and bringing light and goodness into the world, and mandated with helping others in need. The last spot we're going to stop into, like I said, we're not going to go to the bedrooms because we do have sleeping children. The last thing we do is, ladies, we light our candles for Shabbos. Now, mine are not set up yet for Shabbos, but one of the things we do before we light Shabbat candles is, yes, you guessed it, tzedakah. So we have a little tzedakah box here, a little bit of coins right here, so that I can make sure that right before me and my daughters are lighting our Shabbat candles, right here, we pause, we stop, we reflect, and we give, you get it, tzedakah. Again, before a day where we are stopping to light our candles, to, to sell action and to the world, also because we will not be handling tzedakah on Shabbat, and we don't want to miss the day of giving tzedakah. So we make sure to give 2 coins. So I hope you enjoyed this mitzvah minute. It's an easy mitzvah, and I have to say it's one we could train our children daily. My kids, before we eat breakfast, right there's 2 spots in the kitchen. Grab a coin, put it in before you start your day. Before you pray, grab a coin, put it in. Before you light Shabbat candles, grab a coin, put it in. The very act of taking materialism and dedicating it for good, dedicating it for others, elevates us, uplifts, and sends an energy and a tone in our home of giving. And who doesn't want to raise a family of givers, right? Who doesn't want to make that a core value in our own home? And as Jews, that's one of our core values. And that's why it's not like, wow, you're so noble. It's like, no, what's right?
There you go.
It's good to do what's right. So I hope this mitzvah minute was a little helpful, practical, and hopefully everyone could gain from it. Iti, were you going to jump in and say something?
Yes, don't go anywhere. Can you just go into a spot in your house where the reception is a tiny bit better? We have 3 little questions for you. Oh, it got better. Okay.
Okay, it got better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, do you have any idea about if someone's a lefty, if they should give with their right or left hand? Because you mentioned to give with the right.
I actually have my husband and 2 sons are lefties, and you give with your left hand. Yes, their left hand is their right hand, is my right hand. Yes.
Okay.
Good point.
Good question. And then someone asked, what do you do when the tzedakah box is full?
Oh, excellent. That's when you can count out the coins and either write it.
Oh no, we can't hear you, Manya. It's going in and out.
Check or I have to tell you, you can't hear me. I'm in the same spot I was yesterday. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, just repeat that. What do you do in the boxes?
Okay. So you take the money, count it out, and you can either write a check or swipe your credit card to a nonprofit or a tzedakah, an organization that shares a value. Something like Beis Chana, right? We all know Beis Chana is elevating and uplifting girls and women around the world. We see here in this little gathering to learn Torah and connect to Hashem. How incredible to give your money in that place. I had one of our students who, at the end of a very sad year, right? A little challenging, is comes down, went away for spring break and came all the way back just to move out of his dorm 3 months, 2 months later, because he wasn't with his friends. He was learning online. And yet, what did he do? He came by Chabad with a tzedakah box before he moved out of his dorm to give the tzedakah to Chabad. And he had said he learned to Chabad to give a coin daily, and he's been giving daily, and he had a full tzedakah box. And yes, I see someone wrote in the chat to give to hurting families. Absolutely. There's so many families in need. There's no shortage of tzedakah causes to give.
That's right.
But remember, all your effort and your energy to get that money is you're giving part of that. And so, we can definitely, I know people who have a fund, whatever their salary comes in, let's say they're getting $5,000 a week. Wonderful. They take 10th, put it in a separate bank account. And aside from the coins they give daily, that's their tzedakah bank account. So that when they see it's something in need, they know they have, this is where I can give.
Mhm.
It's not, what about organizations and causes? Yes, they are, as long as they're tzedakah. So absolutely eligible. Absolutely. You can give tzedakah to organizations that make a difference
So
and improve the lives of others.
Yeah.
Are there any more questions? It's a little hard to
yeah,
see.
I think
have a
that
question.
one of the like someone said, one of the laws of tzedakah is ani beis chakidmin, like the people, hurting families in your own neighborhood take priority over people in other neighborhoods, meaning
There's always
tzedakah starts at home, and then
Yes. And you know what's so interesting is that our own communities, our own homes, our own families, our own communities, and then it goes, that hierarchy of priorities. Actually, we find it a lot in certain mitzvot. We're like, we can't be like, we have to make sure that we're taking care of like our homes and our families. And I think that that's not just with tzedakah, but absolutely that is a priority for sure.
right. Okay. Oh, so someone asked, like, for example, conservation, I guess, wolf protection, things like that.
If that's a place that you feel you really are passionate about, wolves, the lives of wolves, by all means. I will say that, if I know that the family around the corner doesn't have food on their table, I'll probably make sure, I would probably, prioritize and allocate funds like that. But if there's enough to go around, money comes from God, and materialism comes from God, and we're ambassadors to pass that on and do good with it.
Yeah.
Question if there's time.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful home. I'm
Yes.
always interested in kosher kitchens. Can you give us a couple of words about your kitchen? Oh, you're frozen.
But she has such a lovely
I'm
smile.
frozen, or the program's frozen. Hello?
I hear you now. Thank you.
Okay. There was a request to do a kosher kitchen tour. I'm not sure if there is time for that. I don't want to.
Just a few words.
Okay, few
Which
words. So let's go back to the kitchen then.
Meats and
So I'm going to actually show you something interesting.
Manya,
Here.
I do want to just stress the last thing that you point out briefly, that as Jewish people, God created 7 billion people here in this world, right? Meanwhile, growing almost 8 billion, and a very small minority of that are the Jewish people. And the difference in mission, just real quick, I don't know if we even brought it up, but the difference in mission is that everyone in the world needs to transform bad to good. Like take the wild, like Adam was told, take the wild and cultivate it. Whereas a Jew needs to go one step beyond and actually take godliness and draw it down into what's already good. So let's say conservation with like wolves and animals and everything like that. There's like 7 billion people on the planet who are really dedicated to doing that. Whereas we go one step higher if we have funds that we could dedicate to taking care of people, taking care of, Jewish people and other people who are hungry, right? Human beings, then that's definitely a priority. And then, as you said, if there's more to go around, then of course we from there.
I appreciate you saying that, because the other aspect is so amazing is that if you look, and I don't have the statistic on me exactly, but a very large percentage of philanthropy actually comes from Jewish sources. Like way more in proportion to then who we are as enough, how we fall at, like how many Jews exist in the world. We're a minority by far, but actually a majority in tzedakah giving. And that's because it's such a core value. Like I'd say, if I had to think about, and this is personal, and I don't want to get, tarred or feathered here, but if I have to think of the family around the corner not having food on their table, or conservation of a wolf, I have to make that real. And like you said, Torah gives us that real thing that humans, we need to make sure we're taking care of those around us, that they have food. So I love the people who mentioned that. I really appreciate that, and I love you strengthening it. So I'm gonna actually give you an interesting fact. So we moved into this house less than a year ago, And our kitchen, one of the priorities in looking for a house was it had to be a mile from Chabad, so we could walk there for Shabbat. And the second thing was it had to have a large enough kitchen that I can turn it into a functional kosher kitchen. That was the second requirement. And actually, believe it or not, a lot of the houses in my neighborhood did not have, or within a mile, did not have big kitchens. So just as a sidebar, we actually, when we came into this house and we saw the size of this kitchen, we were like, this is big enough to make a kosher kitchen. So as you notice, 2 ovens, okay? You may have noticed a very beautiful large sink. This is my meat sink. This is my meat dishwasher, which clearly I did a load last night after dinner. Dishwasher here, my red towels distinguishing my meat, right? Okay, my drawer with my meat dishes in here. Now we're going into all the cabinets right here. And then I have here my stove. I split meat and dairy. This little counter is dairy, so anything that splashes over on, I can use this as put my pots down. Of course, there's my wine from the other night. Clearly, I did not drink enough. So full. Here's my dairy side. Here's my little dairy counter. This whole side, meat over here, meat side. Then the bonus of this kitchen, so that was standard in a lot of the kitchens. The bonus of this kitchen was this counter. This counter actually is my dairy counter. So it has my dairy dishes, my mugs, and over here, as I was talking about the different colored towels, we have our dairy colored towels. So there's a clear distinction in our home. Clearly, those are not folded all the way, but our dairy towels and our dairy oven mitts that are different colors, so you can make distinction between the meat and the dairy. This counter, God willing, we are not in this house yet. You know, we're here for less than a year. We're gonna actually be putting a sink right in here. So we have a dairy sink. In the meantime, in that area, well, that area down there, where the tefillin were, there's a little bar and that has a little sink, and that's so far been a dairy sink. So now you see a kosher kitchen mid-construction, not finished yet. Is that clear? For whoever asked about the kitchen.
Thank you so much. It's beautiful. And I love seeing.
And so appropriate now before Shavuos to discuss.
Yes, and honestly, the main thing is our homes not just need to be beautiful, aesthetically pleasing, which is important, that our homes should feel beautiful and warm, but our homes should be warm and full of the life and light of Yiddishkeit. That it should feel like not just, you know, when someone walks into our home, they should be like, this feels like a warm Jewish home. And there's a lot of ways, and this is not what we're talking about now, there's a lot of ways to make that happen. Little things, like a tzedakah box, like making sure there's a siddur or a tehillim, like right here. We always have one here. Someone can always grab a quick prayer right here, grab a fork, here's a tehillim, here's a siddur. You're never too far from something holy.